YouTube? What up? What up? What is going on? I know the screen is black. Oh my. Oh my. What is going on? Well, my game just crashed a few moments before we got started, and I'm trying to get it back up and running on the tablet because we're gonna spectate KVK. No, I'm kidding. We're gonna spectate Osiris League Grand Finals. The winners of both realms going up against each other in match number 2. That first match, we watched OV against the folks of V636. Everyone was like, psh, OV's got this. I mean, OV put up a big boy fight. Now I know the screen is dark. I understand you. I feel you. I feel your pain. And I'm even wearing black, so I'm kind of like mixed in the background. But give me a moment, as unprepared Gecko, like always, was unprepared. Bam. This should be better. Game comes back to life. Lost Kingdom 503 we were watching yesterday went nuts overnight. We recorded a ton of footage of what's going on there. I don't think we're gonna go take a look at it today, but we might stream later tonight. If these fights continue going, I might just do a stream now, and then we will do like a quick break and go spectate 503 again. What do you guys think? I'm a big fan of what's going on in 503. I am very, very jealous of their situation. But let's get into our end of the business, as in 5 minutes and 55 seconds, we have the Osiris League Grand Finals. Now, your boy did not bet this time around. I'm just trying to get to those materials, and dip at this stage was not very good last week. And I don't think we're going to get both materials, but if we can get one, that would be a very, very, very good outcome out of it. So we're right here chilling, waiting for the match to begin. If there was only a way to click on these folks. Previous match, as you can see right here, was super close. It doesn't seem to be close. It really was most of the time very, very close, and it is a very close match at about 2,600 points. That's about it. 2,600 points between the two teams. Crazy 60,000 spectators, which is actually nuts. Now, there were 60,000 folks watching, including 800 of these 60,000 beautiful people were with us. Shoo, not yet. Not yet. Tips were with us in this stream before we start. If you're looking to, and that's new too, if you're looking for a place to watch this, we shoutcast the whole match, play by play. We know the players on the field. We know the strategies. We know everything that goes on right there. And we're going to give you the most insight we can while we be chilling, shoutcasting the match, play by play style. And so we try to keep it fast paced. We try to keep the energy flowing. We try to keep the pace of the match at all time and try to keep the stream a little more alive. So throughout the stream, I tend to cast more than I reply to the chat. You're welcome to leave questions, comments, and even, of course, talk to each other by all means. It's just, if I don't reply to you for a certain time, it doesn't necessarily mean that I'm ignoring you. I'm just not necessarily looking at the chat at that point in time. Oh, I'm getting reports and stuff from 503, and man, 503 is on fire. I'm getting the piece of art from this from the city layouts. I mean, I hope and pray you can get it. I hope and pray you can get it. It's not as easy by the looks of it. And we've been battling the fog and Heroic Anthem to spectate these guys. They're going nuts right now. But they're not the focus of this. They'll be the focus later. We might stream again after the match, like 30 minutes after we stream this. We just re-up with the fight going on in 503. There's going to be a lot of action across Gecko. Today we zeroed 166 million power to 80 mil. He got 6 million deads. Where, Snippix? Where? Is this one of these reports that I got? It could be one of these reports that I got. It could be one of these reports that have been sent. Unless you're not from 503, and that's a different story altogether. I was surprised how many Artemisias I saw in the open field last week. Artemisia is not that bad at all, Mark. Not that bad at all. I would say that I would prefer to see more Ramses. It's weird to see Artemisias, but they're there to counter more than anything else. In 72, damn. Damn, that's nice. Yeah, Bell, I watched a little bit of Chisco's stream. Why do you upload every alternate? What do you mean? Jam. I do try to upload every single day. Lately, things have been, last week I barely got 3 uploads out of the 7, and hopefully this week will not be like that. It's when work picks up and work gets crazy, YouTube takes a hit, and when work calms down a little bit, then I can focus back on straight up doing YouTube. There was a bug where it would say Kingdom 93 home kingdom. There was a bug where if you are, let's say in Kingdom 93, someone shares and you're from shares from reports from 94, you can see the defogged. There are all sorts of crazy bugs on how to make the fog go away. Essentially, there's a lot of different ways of making the fog go away. But yeah, we've never really casted with music in the background. I'm not really a music person per se when it comes to casting, but I'll tell you what we can do is we have in the past tried to have some of the sound effects. I mean, I rather do that. And I know you guys might be hearing it very loudly. No, not at all. So we can do some tunes, some of the in-game sound. Ooh. Gotta do that real quick. Gotta get some of these in here too while we're here. Click on all of these little boys so they keep making resources. Now we go back in here. 30 seconds until the match. Here we go. I'm ready. Let's get ourselves a sip of water. Oh yeah, D. There are a couple of little tricks here and there. Divide that by 10. Belchan. Take a 0 out, essentially. And let's go. So, starting soon. Match begins. Let's reset this. Let's go. In progress. Watch. Enter. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. We are on the Osiris Grand Final field once more. And today we will once again watch none other than OV against V636. Here we go. Let's get that V636 right there. You know what? Let's hit that record button too, just for the fun of it. And there it is right there. So the teleports are coming in by V636 on the one side. On the other side, we are more than likely about to see OV taking their time and doing the same exact thing. They have the same types of setups. They take their time teleporting in the correct order. That way, the folks who need to teleport first get to come in last. That way, they have a little bit of a longer march, but at least the folks who teleport later on are at the front line, and their marching differences are, their marching is much shorter now. On top of all of that, it's not only a matter of marching differences, it's also a matter of launching rallies. You want to have potentially your rally leaders or the folks who are sending rallies out very early on, you want to have them, what do you call it? You want to have them be either at the front line so the rallies hit quicker, or you might want to have them anywhere else depending on what essentially your strategy is trying to be. V636 for the win, says Mark. I mean, V636 showed that they can put up with OV if they can figure out how to slow down that middle. If they could have taken one arc away from OV worth of time, so OV would have had to essentially give up on one of the arcs, then V636 would have won last match. So it's not that V636 don't have what it takes, but they just have to figure out how they slow down the middle for OV, or how they hold on to buildings for a longer period of time to the point where the arcs are insignificant. Essentially, if they manage to counter arcs with provisions and then the provision scores with occupation, then life becomes much easier. And so right now, we are 47 seconds away from the match starting. Let's go take a look as the whole of OV are in, the whole of V636 are in, and in the first few minutes, we're going to be looking at the big picture map, at the big thing going on in here, and we're going to be expecting the obelisks to be taken away on both sides. We're also going to expect to see outposts being taken, and even outpost rallies have come out quite a bit lately. And as a matter of fact, outpost rallies have been very successful at what they tried to do, which is essentially pick an outpost up. And it's crazy to see sometimes a Zenobia inside an outpost, as a rally had a secondary Zenobia primary Atel Takeda, and next thing you know, there is a Guan Alex, and then a Zenobia in the back, and next thing you know, there's a Zenobia with 500k T5 infantry, not an Atel Takeda, Guan Leo in this case, or a Guan Alexander would do the trick. As we speak, though, things are going down. V636 are starting to walk their way out of the gates, and so are OV. Here we go with the T1 marches flying out of the gates. T1 marches are very, very common in the meta nowadays, ladies and gentlemen. If you don't have your T1s trained, you might want to start training your T1s. 310k to be exact. You guys saw me do it myself right there. And the reason for that is exactly what these folks are doing. In Rise of Kingdoms, in Ark of Osiris, you have skills. Look at this guy, how he went from this to that and past John Wick. Even almighty John Wick was too slow for Cowardly Dog. Ace the Cowardly Dog. Well, wasn't it Courage the Cowardly Dog, technically? Anyway, as these guys race towards the next target, which is the obelisk, you can see after all of this that these T1s are going to go down the field and essentially suicide on the obelisk. The reason they're doing that is in Heroic Anthem. Now, Ark of Osiris, you have Ark of Osiris skills. These skills require of you energy, and energy is obtained as time goes by in the fight, and as more troops of yours die in battle. And so, the more of your troops die in battle, the more energy bars you're gonna gain. And so what people are doing is they're killing off T1s very early on. Look at John Wick. He's about to fly in this way, and then he's going to go down and suicide his marches. And by suiciding these T1s, he essentially is guaranteeing an extra bar. Not only himself, but him and the rest of his team that are doing this are getting an extra bar or even half a bar worth of energy, which means they're going to be able to proc skills a little bit quicker and gain more energy as the match goes by. So a lot of folks have been doing this. This is a new meta kind of thing. For next season, we're going to be seeing this quite a bit, unless let's change the mechanic. But as of right now, as you can see, John Wick is waking his way into the obelisk. The bottom obelisk now obtained by V636. Tintin down here. Shout out to Tintin, really cool dude. I've had an opportunity to play against him in a KVK, and he was very chill, very awesome guy. So good to see his kingdom doing well in 636. And now folks are starting to get here. The defense rally tends to get here way ahead of the marches trying to snatch the rally. It's very rare that you can actually beat the rally. As a matter of fact, it is doable to beat the rally, but it don't help that much. But it is doable to beat the rally. That's all I gotta tell you. With that being said, here comes the defense, and you can see the marches are still making their way here. John Wick is going to suicide, and we're going to take a look at the time it takes him to get back, as both teams picked up their side of the map respectively. There's 2 minutes until the rest of the buildings open up. Points are not being accrued yet. I want to show you some mechanics, and I want to show you some meta changes that you should be very much aware of, and this is one of them. Now, you can see Jigglypuff also with a T1 Cav rally, and so have the folks in Doctor Strange and Lambu. All of them are gonna right now get their marches in here and get wrecked and go back home. And this is an important thing for you to understand. You need fast marches. You need fast marches not only here, but also on your way back, because you want to get back as quickly as possible. All of these marches right here, you can see John Wick has 1 minute and 7 seconds until he gets to his city. Pearl is on his or her way here, and will more than likely pick up this suicide out. But it'll take you about 1 minute to come back home. So if you're someone who teleports on the first few teleports, it's probably not a good idea for you to do this. As you can see, the teleports are available and folks are starting to TP in. Well, they will be momentarily. But with that being said, If you can TP but you're still marching back, you're SOL. You don't want to be that person. But if you're in TP in the 50th minute or in the 45th minute, you can allow yourself to send a suicide march out. It will get back home just in time for the building to start opening up. So you can, as you can see, there's John Wick right there, 34 seconds before. As soon as he arrives, these buildings will open up. So he has one troop that is down right now that is going to come into play a little bit later. But if you set up your marches the right way, you can actually gain a lot of energy for free. Markswoman is slaying. Yes, she is. And there goes that. Pearl on the way home. 1 minute and 12 seconds on this occasion. And yeah, there's more of them that we can take a look at. There's a whole minute and 30 seconds down this way. A whole minute, and look at the difference between a slower march and a faster march right there. You can see the differences in the speed. And here we go. Buildings open up. Oh my. V636 starting strong. Sky Altar. They take the blue Sky Altar. The blue team, though, take the the Shrine of Life. Nice catch of the Shrine of Life, but I don't think that Shrine of Life is going to be able to hold for very long. The Sky Altar, on the other hand, has also one march that managed to yoink it, and it's not going to be able to hold. The trades happen back, but hey, that's a small victory early on for V636, who took away 20 seconds from OV's Sky Altar. Now, V636 are in danger here. They are being severely attacked by OV, and their building is starting to come down, and it's coming down very quickly. If V636 lose this building, it'll be a tragic start for their campaign. And now a Saladin goes in there as a main commander, and then it becomes a Guan. Okay, so folks are just sticking troops in there just to stick troops in there for it to survive while they clear the open field, and everybody secures their own first occupation. Sorry about that. If we take a quick look at the map, you'll see that we're at 130. Both teams have their buildings locked in their favor, and now their own buildings are in the process of being secured for full occupation. And OV are indeed a little bit ahead by about 60 points, 62 points in the early stage, as they took their initial buildings a tad few moments quicker than the folks in V636. A nice little attempt here by OV to catch this guy. I wonder if these are T1s. We can't really see because we got simplified graphics. But with first occupations looking to be fairly equal, they are what they're supposed to be. In 6 rallies out, 4 from the blue team, 2 from the red team, curiously enough. I mean, the folks in blue are rallying it up. The folks in red seem to be less worried about rallies, and this is an indicament of what we saw in last match, which was a lot more rallies by V636 and building occupations by V636, and less out of the folks in... Oh, that's cool. He's getting carried like Cleo. Like the folks... wow, I missed my train of thought. Anyway, rallies are coming out. Blue team, there's Slouty changing it up, going for the Shrine of War, and this time he has a Ramses rally coming up, not the usual Attila Chandra or Attila Takeda that he tends to send out. That occasionally does come out to the field. While we tap a little bit on the recordage of 503, taking a look at what OV are trying to do, there's V636 open field presence to support against this rally, which is going to get here, but I don't think it's going to get here in time to stop the first occupation bonus to go in favor of the respective team that should have gotten it, and that's the red team on their buildings. With that being said, here comes the rally. Circle K taking the first damage. Not a good idea to take that first damage. Let the rally hit and then go wild. But look at this rally right here with a Ethelfled Lubu back there. That rally is getting debuffed, and that's, I guess, and that's a Ramses Nebu, right? That was a Ramses Nebu, or was that a Ramses Cyrus? I never recognize either of them. They're very similar. But anyway, this Ramses rally is taking the building down slowly and steadily. I mean, Circle K is doing a good job at debuffing it, but don't fall asleep on this rally, V636. They're pushing up on the aggression for the Desert Altar, and here comes a little bit of extra backup. Circle K sending infantry against this Ramses. I know, there you go. This might happen a couple times throughout the stream. Apologies for that. There is a small annoying dongle here that occasionally loses its connection, as you can see right there. Let's make sure that is fixed better, and you can hear the game right now, and bam, we're back, ladies and gentlemen. Apologies for that. Stupid dongle occasionally just says screw you. Anyway, Circle K finished up doing what he needs to do to this rally. The rally is still doing damage. It's still doing damage, but Slouty seems to have been defeated. Red team are now pushing towards the Desert Altar, the blue Desert Altar. While that's going down, the red Desert Altar is blinking. The blue Sky Altar went in favor of the red team. They pushed forward to pick up a Sky Altar early on right here. There's a lot of open field presence by OV in here, but V636 need to actually target that Zenobia right there. If they manage to get rid of that Zenobia, that's a garrison captain that can't go in that building. And there's another Zenobia right there, the third Zenobia. Damn, Zenobia's all over this map. Zenobia Theodora's all over. It looks like the folks in OV had multiple garrison captains ready to rock and roll to come by to defend this building, but this building went red. It's a blue building that's now red. Shrine of War is indeed secure. Blue team now contesting for the Shrine of Life in a very, very, very strong fashion. Shrine of Life will more than likely go down for the folks in red. In blue, red taking this building too, and then they can push forward in back towards the Desert Altar. That's supposed to be blue, and it is blue still right now. OV are taking their Sky Altar back, and they indeed take their Sky Altar back. However, those few moments in which the Sky Altar wasn't in favor of OV, those are 150 points per minute for the next 3 minutes that the folks in OV are not getting. So 560 to 440 is the points differential, as 120 points per minute are getting accrued for the red team, and they have officially taken the lead for the first time in 14 minutes in this match. With that being said, there's still plenty of open field presence here by V636, mainly trying to suicide their marches as far as I can see. Looking at the top, Desert Altar, it's about to go down. V636 with massive presence takes out the Desert Altar away from OV. And now the question is, what's next? Because if we go take a look at the middle, we're going to see a massive, massive, massive blue wave in here. And, I mean, V636 know. They know that this is going to be the grinder again. And the arc is about to pop in a minute and 18 seconds. For V636, what they're trying to do is they need to disrupt. They need to hold on to buildings. They need to gain points without the middle. While they're doing that, they're also being a nuisance, making sure the obelisk of OV is always well secured. And so are the rest of the buildings. We did notice V636 lose an outpost back here, which now they own again, which is a very good play by them. But they got to keep an eye on those outposts. Those are 90 points per minute. That's no joke right there. With a minute full of occupation for the V636 team in red, they take the Desert Altar and 150 points out of the hands of OV. In 39 seconds, this arc is going to pop. And at this stage, I kind of like what V636 are doing to an extent. I feel like they know that the grinder is going to destroy them, and now the grinder comes for them. And what they're trying to do is they are trying to essentially do exactly that. They're going for the arc carrier. In 19 seconds, the arc carrier is going to pick up the arc. And what these folks are looking to do with their marches is, instead of duel it out in the open field against OV, who have a huge presence in middle and are very, very, very strong in middle, what they're going to do is they're going to let OV pick up the arc, and they're going to drop the arc carriers again and again and again. They're going to try to pick up the arc on themselves if they can, obviously. And if they can drop it on their side, it'll be a huge advantage for them. But they're doing everything they can to right now disrupt arcs. And so at this stage, waiting for the fight for the last moment and then duking it out. There it is, V636 even pick up the arc. It gives them a massive advantage. Previously, the folks in OV managed to catch V636 ahead of time and dwindle them before the arc popped. Now the arc is way down here. That is very, very good delaying by V636. They are not falling into, they are still probably going to take the grinder very soon. We're seeing a lot of red frownies, but we are also seeing some blue ones. Look at the reds now. The grinder is on, but still the arc is on the red side. And now OV have it in their hands. Now you're gonna see the red team just converge towards the arc consistently, and they're just gonna try to kill the arc carrier again and again and again. Pick up the arc, kill the arc carrier, fight for the actual arc. Very, very few teams actually fight for the arc. The higher level teams, the teams that have been doing this for a very long time, that are shaping the meta, what they tend to do is they tend to completely own the field before the arc shows up, or they try to, and it ends up happening more often than not that a fight happens even when before the arc is down. And when you got to delay an arc delivery, there's no point in fighting before the arc is out. Look at the meat grinder that is the OV middle team. It's absolutely astonishing how how they're doing this. It's absolutely astonishing that they're able to get to do this. They had just as many marches as the red team, and yet there are very little to no red marches left in the field in here. And now what they're just doing again is they're trying to sneak around. They're trying to stop the arc carriers. They're trying to stop the bleeding from the middle. And while they're doing that, look at the status on the map. They're at 740 points compared to the 290 of OV. And they own the Sky Altar with a very strong garrison. Now there's a garrison captain in there and multiple marches nearby to defend the building. The Desert Altar, the OV Desert Altar, is being contested. They're trying to get it back, but V636 have been consistently coming in here and have been consistently making sure this building is full. If you own all 4 altars, and you're getting points from all 4 altars, you're getting more than half of the points per minute on the map, period. And so owning the arcs is very important, but if V636 managed to maintain something like this, a 400 plus points per minute lead, in this case they have 450, there is not going to be enough arcs out there to overcome that deficit in points. And from there, it goes middle for buildings and then provisions for provisions. So right now, OV need to book it. If I am in OV's shoes, I am putting this arc as quickly as I can anywhere. The arcs are where OV are making the most points. There's absolutely no reason for this guy not to go straight in here and deliver this arc so one more pops so OV continually gain more points. For OV, the middle is the moneymaker and not the buildings game per se. Now they're rotating from the middle towards here. And now here's the trick. V636 have to get rid of this Slouty rally right now. They got to swarm this rally down and get rid of it because open field presence is coming and they don't want a rally hitting the building and an open field swarm. The rally needs to get taken out before the open field comes, and that way the building deals with the open field, not with the rally. As you can see right now, the building is down to whatever power, whatever strength it is. But the moment this fight gets done with, Slouty knows this. Slouty's just going to keep pushing for the buildings, and he's going to keep hitting him. He knows that he cannot let the foot off the gas for a second, because right now, the longer it takes for V636 to react, the better it is as open field marches are coming to help. Here come some reinforcements, though. 2 infantry marches right here that are very capable to go inside the Desert Altar building the second that is needed, and there goes the rally out the window. The open field swarm is here to try to occupy back the blue Desert Altar. While that happens, the outposts are being taken away. Autumn again being a pain in the butt back here. She loves doing that. Red team almost took the Shrine of Life last time, but didn't manage to get it done. This time around, look at how many OV folks are just rotating around the building, waiting for an opportunity to hit this building. And for V636 right now, nobody should be hitting anything. V636 have to be straight up getting in the building. It doesn't matter what's on the field right now. There's way too much open field presence and way too little ways for V636 to do anything against it. At this stage, fill the building, fill the building, fill the building. Do not let it fall. Open field fights are insignificant and they're not helpful in this stage, because you're not going to be, there's not 10 marches to combat these 10 marches. If there was even 5 or 6 open field marches by V636, they could have started fighting and cleaning things up in here a little bit. But in this scenario, I mean, that building's about to go down. There's plenty of OV here, and V636 don't want to let this go. It's making points for them right now. It is not making points for OV, and it will not make points for OV for a very long time still. But they are owning a nice 570 points per minute worth of a lead, and they really don't want to blow that out. They really want to keep that number. Those open field marches fighting should be in the building. That building is so close to go down, and there's more marches coming. Why are you not filling the building? Oh no. And V636, they don't only lose the Desert Altar that belonged to OV, but now they lose their own Desert Altar in the process. Oh my goodness almighty. V636 OV, realizing they have the middle, they went one march went that way towards this Desert Altar, and the other set went up towards the Desert Altar. And next thing you know, V636 go from having over 800 points per minute down to 560, less than half of the total map. And they are still leading in the points per minute game. Once this arc is secured, for the record, the likelihood of V636 ending up ahead is still there, because every single moment that goes by that this arc is not delivered, more points are being accrued by V636. A total of 270 points per minute. So in a minute or so, they will retain the lead even with the arc being delivered. This is a 3,000 point arc. But if they don't take their buildings back quick, I mean, OV can catch right back up. Right back up. We cannot fall asleep on OV. OV are a team that has done this before. They've done this against stronger teams, and they've done this against big teams, and they've done this against not even stronger necessarily. I mean, honestly, V636 looks amazing. They really, really look sharp. But they've done this in other situations. They've done this against all odds, and I mean, their game change is crazy. In the last match, they barely went for buildings at all, and now we're seeing them going for buildings consistently. And not only that, even if they're just being nuisance marches, they're taking buildings away from the blue team, away from V636, the red team. Last time around, V636 barely lost a building, I think. They mainly lost whatchamacallit, their outposts, and that's it. And that's about it. Let's see. So what else we got going on? Desert Altar, well, that's the March trying to suicide this way. V636 need to get their building back, and this is how they're going to do it. They're going to start up with a rally and clear the open field with their own open field while the rally does the damage to the building. There's also an open field rally. There's also an open field presence on the building already. 2 Ethelflaeds making double sure that the building is debuffed, and there is a William around as well. There's also a bunch of different marches in here. Look at the meat grinder right there going down as OV are just getting wrecked out of this building, and V636 are trying to reoccupy their own buildings. Justin, OV are now low on troops. Everybody has the same exact amount of troops, exact amount of commanders, exact amount of everything. This has nothing to do with their own troops. That's the difference in the Grand Invitational and Osiris League. And OV defending well against what looks like swarms of marches just going towards the Desert Altar non-stop. I wonder what that is. There's no reason for all of that. But there goes V636 picking up their building back, and a lot of marches are going home. A lot of marches are on their way home. Some marches are making their way to the middle already, as 6 minutes before the fight begins, middle occupation is becoming a thing. While that's going down, if we go take a peek at the Sky Altar by OV are fighting the Sky Altar, we just missed a very strong swarm, but by the looks of it, taking the building down at half health, that could have been crazy if there was an extra rally there or something like that. That could have been a very, very strong play by OV, but OV even out the points per minute game, and they're down by 100 and 50 points, we'll call it. Down by 150 points. That's not the worst. That's not the worst gap between these two teams that could have been at an equal footing points per minute game. We're looking at a very solid situation. Now, as soon as all the buildings lock up in favor of everybody like they should, 590, 590 should be found. And as such, we're back to square one. Now, 5 minutes and 44 seconds before the middle opens up and the arc shows up, folks are already starting to position towards the middle for the red team, but they don't tend to do that. What they tend to do, first and foremost, is they tend to aggress towards the Desert Altar. With a swarm and a rally, they tend to take the Desert Altar and then go middle. OV, on the other hand, tend to go Shrine of War and then rotate towards middle too. So both teams are now not doing what they usually do. As a matter of fact, I'm seeing some folks staying by the Desert Altar instead of doing their regular rotations, which we usually tend to see, Slouty being one of them and Pedro Justin being another one of them. It looks like V636 are just mainstreaming marches. No care in the world. The Circle K, all of these guys are just sending, I guess, fast T1 calves. Is that what this is? Fast T1s? Fast T1s. The folks of V636 are just sending fast T1s. They're looking to gain more. They're trying to gain more energy. Interesting. So all of these were fast T1 marches, more energy for them, which is awesome. And so hey, if they're trying to gain more skills, that's the way to go. There is the regular rotation we expect. We expected Slouty and them to go down for a fight down here first and then go middle. But I guess instead of going down, they canceled out the going down on the offense since they own the points per minute game at 150 points for a few more moments. And they know that for V636, this is a much bigger hit. Here is the issue. The middle still favors OV. V636's advantage is straight up in the points per minute game. But right now, OV managed to cancel out the cycle in which V636 ended up ahead in the points per minute game as the middle fight began. On the other hand, V636 seemed to really want this middle. And now, I wouldn't be surprised if they show up in massive force to get this middle at all cost, leave bare minimum defenses towards the buildings, and then go for action on the middle. If they manage to take an arc away from OV, everything changes at this stage. Devils, what's up? How's it going? If they manage to take an arc from OV, everything changes. Because at this stage, at this specific stage, OV are in the lead. And not only in the points per minute or in the game in general, but they're in the lead and controlling the game. In the last match, we saw that OV won by 2,400, 300, 600 points, something like that, because they got all three arcs, and they got a lot of good provisions, and they lost the points per minute game. Right now, in the areas where V636 were doing the best, which is the points per minute, OV are actually holding on to the lead. OV are the ones taking outposts away from V636 rather than V636 away from OV. So that's 30 points per minute less. That's 90 points to say the least. And so now V636 have an issue because they need to show up in massive forces because the chainsaw that is OV's middle has yet to be broken. And realistically speaking, I don't know if they'll manage to break it even with more marches. But I can tell you what they can do with more marches. They can delay it. Essentially, chumming down through 10 marches takes much less time than chumming down through 100 marches, for example. And so what this seems to be, it seems literally to be a meat shield. And OV could potentially still grind all of this out. But at this stage, V636 are owning the temple area, and they're 1:50 seconds away from an arc proc. OV are not fully here yet. They were not 100% prepared. So they're not going to be prepared to proc skills and get the chainsaw on until at least another 30, 40 seconds, give or take, which will mean a minute until. And as I say that, V636 just charge. V636 with a charge, that's not a bad idea. They need to focus on supports. They need to focus on AoE. They need to focus on all that. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. The big brawl is here. But before it starts, OV taking a Shrine of Life away from V636 puts them a little bit behind in the points per minute game somehow because they lost their Desert Altar at the top. Oh my goodness, V636. I can't even with this match. 6 things happening at the same time. We're going to focus on this, and we're going to look as V636 want to keep OV the heck away from the... Oh my. They're trying to keep them away, and so far they're very successful. So far the meat grinder hasn't been grinding out blues, but reds are grinding out blues now. Oh boy, I'm not seeing red frownies. I am seeing blues. There are some red frownies, but just an equal amount of blues. And boy, oh boy, V636 said, screw it. V636 said, screw it. We're just gonna play this the way it needs to be played. And that is brute force. And they have cleaned a lot of OV out. Don't call OV out just yet. There's a lot of blue marches in here. And I see a ton of red marches down to less than half a health. The arc appears, ladies and gentlemen. And there is more red presence here for sure. And there are a lot of hurt red presences, but Lord of mercy, look at the blue frownies. Is this the break? Is this what V636 needed? They are ahead in the points per minute game right now. They are ahead in the points in general. And now they have a lot of presence in the middle. Blue team does pick up the arc, and more folks are coming in. So if the red team wants to get this arc, they need to get their feet going. Let's go pick up this arc and start moving, boys. Whoever picks it up, it doesn't matter. Arc carrier, not arc carrier. At this stage, grab the arc and run. Run, Forest, run, as who is picking up this arc next? V636 is, and it's starting to march backwards, ladies and gentlemen. V636. V636. And here I thought I shouldn't bet. And I bet everything last time around. And this time around, V636 are like, okay. Okay, well, here we go. Pearl trying to slow down Killer B, and Pearl is slowing down Killer B. Pearl will more than likely kill Killer B, or Killer B will not make it till the end goal with this arc. I don't think, at least. Although, I mean, lots of red marches. Oh, here it is. And he breaks away. Another Pearl march. Hello? Someone? There it is. Okay, good. Now that march is out of the way, 2 minutes and 45 seconds. And for the first time in a very long time, someone broke the OV middle. Wow, the overwhelming strength is unbelievable. Chat, if you're enjoying the stream, of course, don't forget to smash a like on the stream and let your fellow Alliance mates, teammates, whoever the heck it is, Lost Kingdom chats know that we're streaming right now and that this match is crazy, for them to come check out the madness that this is with the, I would assume, a decent commentary by my part, hopefully. And so with that being said, let's go look at the buildings game one more time, as OV are down by 500 points, and they're down also 40 points per minute. But the arc is about to make them down another 3,500 points. That's not very good. That's not where you want to find yourself at all in this scenario. However, OV still have plenty of time. For V636, right now, the only play left for V636 right now is take this arc way the heck back here. You hold on to it until the last minute of it being available, which is 12 more minutes, and only then you submit this arc. And in that scenario, there's still time for one more arc. But it'll get very, very, very hard to get that final third arc in. And this is where V636 now need to change things up. And so do OV, and here they do. There comes the OV aggression on its way to the Shrine of War. Now this arc just needs to keep booking it and not care. And the folks in the open field right here need to get ready to defend against this Shrine of War invasion. Sam, caught out of position. You're way ahead, buddy. Way ahead. And that is not T1's, because that thing is taking its time to get killed. So a little bit of a misstep right there by the folks in OV. And that's about to be painful right there. There are more marches coming in, but they got to come in as a cloud. They got to come in as a murder ball. And that way they can have a little more success taking buildings. While that's going down, OV is also trying to take the Sky Altar away from V636. And there's a lot of open field presence coming here to support this rally. So a little bit of trouble for V636. They got to come back here and they got to help support this defense. There is one march right there that is coming in that will potentially refill the building, but there's not a lot around here for V636 to defend their Sky Altar. And OV are trying to take back the points per minute game. Another Grunt the Fool march coming in to try to get into the building and secure it. And another open field presence by Italis, that's how you say your name. Apologies. And hey, Sky Altar about to go down. OV reacting very, very well to the loss of this arc, and that is by taking the points per minute game, potentially, which they're down right now 120 points, ladies and gentlemen. V636 on the arc and the points per minute right now. Very, very big problem. 24 minutes remaining in this match. And, oh boy, OV. Grunt barely makes it in there. Oh, and he does. And now it's him against all of that painful thing right there. And so he can hold for a little bit longer. Circle K might be able to get in here. Italis can get in here. Someone get in here. And poof goes the building. OV, 150 points taken from V636 every single moment. Now V636 trying to defend their own desert, their Shrine of War. Shrine of War is taking a lot of damage. It's not fully full by the looks of it, and the open field swarm is doing a lot of work. Rally is about to go down. Snouty's rally will not be successful. And with this open field presence, now they can clear out this Shrine of War, and it's time to aggress back. V636 need to get the points per minute game back in their favor. They need to get their buildings back, as they've lost both their altars in the process of securing that middle. And that is how the cookie crumbles. I mean, it hasn't crumbled just yet, but that's the start of it. OV doing exactly what they need to do. They lost the middle, they react to take the points per minute game. And when they will officially get into a point where it's a 50-50 point for the points per minute game, by that point OV can really restructure their gameplay and their timings to potentially cause more damage on buildings while going for the middle again. Now OV own the pace. They're about to take the Shrine of Life away from V636 too. And oh my goodness, if they let this go down, V636 sent everything they had to the middle to beat OV, and in exchange, OV took away all their buildings. Oh my goodness gracious. And so let's get that quick recording going on as we continue. We reached a maximum capacity of our recording size, chat. And so with that being said, let's take a look right here. The building is still in favor of V636. A lot of blue marches are frowning home. But if this turns red, this turns blue, even for a moment, that's victory for OV. They have indeed dwindled down the points per minute of V636 very, very, very drastically. And now there's a problem. 380 points in the favor of OV, who are about to take the lead. And it's going to take still a good amount of time until V636 manages to take all of their buildings back. Trouble in paradise. V636 let everything out for the middle and lost their buildings in the process. Here we thought that V636 had broken the middle of OV. But ladies and gentlemen, that's the price you pay. That is right. They put everything out to try to get rid of the grinder. And the grinder said, well, we might as well take the buildings back. And the difference between V636 and OV is that at this point, OV would have lost one, maybe two buildings. They would have lost their Sky Altar and maybe even their Desert Altar. But they would have taken them back immediately. It wasn't even a thing where it was very, very rare where V636 managed to have two buildings of the red team of the blue team taking for their own points. More often than not, V636 in red would take OV's buildings, and one building would end up being occupied by V636. The other one exchanges hands again. In this scenario, I mean, OV and blue are very, 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 very close to securing red buildings. I mean, the top Sky Altar is about to lock up in favor of OV. It just did. There's a massive swarm in here, and that building goes back in favor of the red team. So for a moment, it was painful, and now V636 took their building back. Now the question is, can they take the Desert Altar quick enough as well? It's going to take for points for OV for a moment or two, maybe. There it is right there. 740 points every single minute. 530 points every single minute in the favor of OV, who are holding on to this Desert Altar. And boy, oh boy, OV replied back with a points per minute game. And V636 are going to get their buildings back, but the pain is already inflicted. The points per minute gain for the folks in the team in blue is much, much greater now. And it's going to take 3 minutes to get back to that 590 score right there. Even after this building goes back in favor of the red team, OV will hold on to 380 points per minute of a lead for at least another 3 minutes. And so with that being said, let's take a look at the OV scenario right here. They're holding for dear life. I mean, they're holding for dear life. They're milking this building, and finally it goes down. Map is back to being even, but the pain was caused big time. 500 points for in favor of the blue team, worth of a lead, and they're still going to gain another probably 1,000 points, and it's going to take 3 full minutes for the 590 to be a thing once more. The folks in V636 trying to do something and rally back the OV Sky Altar, but a rally without open field presence is not very successful against a regular defense. And what we got here is OV Shrine of War is not seeing any action at all. Lots of frowny faces coming back home for OV, who are still taking their time. This is the painful problem with having the arc being held like it is. The middle team of OV for the last 7 minutes have done nothing but fight for buildings. And it's extra presence for OV and for V636 on the field as well. But OV utilized that time and gained a lead back. V636, on the other hand, lost their lead. They have the arc. They'll be in the lead once the arc is in their favor. But they've actually lost in this situation. They've lost on the hold. And that arc is a very expensive arc, I'll tell you that much. 1 second, let's just do a quick reset on that. You guys can hear the tablet. Hello. Be quiet. Signal. Apologies, this stupid dongle occasionally. It just overheats and it goes no signal. Don't worry, we're still in the match. You guys are going to get to watch it right now as we boot back up, hopefully. Dongle, what happened to you? In the middle of a stream, dongle. Can't be doing us like that. No signal. You. That way. Uh-oh. Bad news, chat. We gotta switch to the PC, chat. We're gonna switch to the PC, chat. What else can we do? We gotta get our backup plan going on. Do-do-do-do-do. Oh, how do you know? We lost signal. Go. What on earth is your problem? This stupid thing. It overheats and then it goes toast. Go. Okay. Well, into the match we go from the PC, ladies and gentlemen. It'll lag a little bit. What can we do? But we're not going to stop this cast. We're not going to stop this cast for anything. Where is this? You go away. Go. Go, go, go. We got to get back in the action. The match was just getting good. Oh, no. Yeah, you. You. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. We're coming back into this. We got to get back into this. What the hell? Time to go to another stream. Go wild. Go wild, Duck Hunter. It's okay. It happens. Nothing I can do about it, unfortunately. But, hey, we're loading right back. Yeah, that thing is annoying. Go! All right, let's get back into the match, ladies and gentlemen. V636 have an arc, and about 3 minutes left in that arc. Hope and pray they can do something about that middle yet again, because, boy, if they get stuck right there, it's going to blow. And so let's keep going. Round 2 in progress. Come on. Load up, bad boy. Let's do this thing. Bam. And we're back in the action. Bam. And here we go, ladies and gentlemen. We're back at where we left off, 590 to 440. Nothing's changed. OV taking a building again away from V636. That's frustrating for V636. What's more frustrating is that he needs to load. That's frustrating for V636 as they were at 590, 590, and again lost another building, which is another 150 points in the favor of OV. And so with that being said, OV are gaining points per minute every single minute. And to make matters worse, wait a second. And to make matters worse, there's no way for V636 to get their building back right now. There's no open field in here. There's nothing left. 10 minutes remaining, 15 minutes remaining. Arc successfully delivered. The timer is up. 8 minutes and 13 seconds. And here we go. Arc, the final one, 15 minutes remaining in the match. It will be contested. And now the times start shifting again. Now you start doing again the beautiful cycles of what is, of essentially what, of the timings of how things go. This works in favor of V636, by the way. Although V636 gained points in the points per minute more than anything else, the fact that now there's 15 minutes remaining and 8 minutes remaining on the clock for Arc, it means that OV are going to start doing what OV do again, and it'll give V636 the breathing room they need to get their buildings back and maybe even aggress forward. But with 14 minutes remaining, a point per minute lead is less significant now than it was earlier in the match. And so, to be honest with you guys, I don't think that this will be as big of a thing. There goes Slouty's insatiable desire. Slouty knows what's up now. He knows that they need to figure out how to get more points in the last 15 minutes. It's a very common thing that folks are doing nowadays in their strategies and in the way they play for the record. What they do is very simple. 15 minutes before the match ends, they proc the skill, and then they get at least 1 or even 2 of everybody's marches. Just go find something to gather and gather it. You don't need to have gathering commanders. You don't need to have sieges. Anything will work. Anything will do. You don't need to have top tier commanders to gather in Ark of Osiris. It doesn't work like that. And so let's see if we can get the tablet back up and alive, because while we're enjoying this right here, I mean, I want to see the middle fight. And the middle fight without the tablet is going to be a big, big, big problem. So let's see if we can fix it up. We're trying while casting, while commentating, to get our technical stuff back to life. I mean, it's catching power. Lord knows what from. But not damn HDMI. Okay. I see ya. I see ya. All right. 12 minutes remaining. Match is here. And here's the thing. V636 learned a very important thing. They have learned that they can beat... They've learned that they can beat OV in the middle with numbers. Now, OV have taken the Desert Altar away from V636, which makes things even harder. But if V636 come in with power at the very end, they come in with power at the very end and with everything they got at the very end for the middle fight, okay? And they manage to take that middle quick enough, they could potentially march an Ark home and crazily enough end up winning this match. There's provisions that are going to start coming in about 7 minutes or so. We're going to start seeing the numbers climb really badly. But there's one more Ark left. For that, though, V636 have to make sure that they at least have an equal footing in the points per minute game before they sacrifice everything. Because once they sacrifice everything in the middle, then there is going to be a point in time in which they're going to lose all their points, and then 3 minutes after that, OV are going to start gaining points. So if you're going to want to dip on your buildings 10 minutes before the match ends, you really want to make sure that you at least have half of the buildings and you have a decent defense, so that there is about 4 to 2 minutes left in which the other team occupied your buildings. And so for V636, picking up their buildings cannot come any quicker, and they have to get their buildings now. As a matter of fact, if V636 give a quick counter, a quick attack on another building like this one right here, if this would have gone down for OV and in favor of V636, then that would have made this very, very, very interesting. There's a lot of variables about to go down. And yes, sir, Jainam, you cannot sleep on them provisions. V636 are already in the middle, but so are OV. V636 are getting targeted a little bit by a guy in OV who falls right back. They know they cannot... They cannot let this slip. Both teams know they cannot let this slip. And ladies and gentlemen, I mean, this is it. This is for all the marbles. If V636 win, they get a third shot. A third shot at beating OV 2 out of 3. But, if OV win, it's over. The grand finals go in favor of OV. And that's it. And that's where it ends. And so we're kind of hoping that V636 gets us a third match. That would be sick to have a third match. But at the same time, OV are looking to lock this in and get rid of Ark and focus on their warring right now. For OV, I mean, they really don't mind if they have to do this another time next week. They're not wasting any troops or anything like that. But it's a little bit of an extra hassle that they don't necessarily want to go through. I'm going to tell you right now, our middle observing is going to be abysmal, unfortunately. And I'm really curious as to what happened that the HDMI just decided altogether, yep, or maybe it was the tablet that decided that the HDMI is just not worthy. And so while things are going down, let's go take a quick peek and see if we can fix it. Connections. Please be nice to us. Please be nice to us. Dongle. You have been such a pain in the butt for such a long time. And now you fail us? I wonder how other creators... Here we go. OV engaging in the middle a minute and 50 seconds before ARC even pops. They know they got to clear this middle. And they know that the more V636 come in here, the harder it is for their own grinder to get the work done. V636 with an overwhelming power just cannot take... OV cannot handle V636 with the insane amount of power that they had in the previous stuff worth of folks in here, right? But now... So far, lots of V636 surviving in this little bit. 3-1. I'm seeing very much more blue frownies than I'm seeing red frownies. Okay, V636. Okay. Well, my goodness almighty. We got to get used to this. We got to get used to this. Oh, boy. Who's going to come out ahead in this? So far, OV, I've lost more than V636 have. And yet again, here we go. Here we go. 2 for 2. There's a 4 for 2. Oh boy. There's a 6 for 2. V636. What is this middle? Oh my lordy. What is this middle? Look at the blue marches going home. The blue team engaged. OV engaged. And all of a sudden, V636 said just, nah. And somehow are taking this middle. Now, wait a second. Now starting to see more red frownies. It's not over until you know what happens. But so far, OV have taken more losses than V636 by the looks of it. So, hey, major kudos to the folks in V636. They are holding. They're holding very, very well. They might have caught on to VOV and decided to wait the first arc and then in the second and third one, surprise. While they did that, they've also taken the points per minute lead by taking away a building from OV. This is exactly what we were mentioning. They have the desert altar up on the top and they're fighting for the sky altar. They're doing exactly what they needed to do, but they're also winning the arc. They're also winning the arc, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to try to slowly not crash. 4 seconds before the arc pops. Blue frownies all over the place. Ladies and gentlemen, are we looking at a game 3? V636 is here, and they're not going down without a fight. And I mean, at this point, it's almost bet all on V636 last match if they win this. But don't call it one for V636 just yet, ladies and gentlemen, because the arc is marching towards the blue side. Red team is starting to see a lot of frownies. Something is going down. The arc is in favor of OV, and it's about to go down, and we're more than likely going to crash watching this thing. V636 taking another altar away from OV. Very, very good for V636. They're going to close this difference worth of points in the points per minute game in the last 6 minutes they have remaining in the match. But, man, this is looking insane. And I mean, it's just going to get better and better, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see what we can do to fix this up. We're trying everything within our possibility. There it is. Okay, good. Now, you go away. And you go here. Okay, we got to figure out why. Why did you choose? Because the phone can see it. What the hell? Dex. That middle fight. That middle fight. Oh my goodness. Red team are still not picking up the arc. How is this a thing? And the points go in favor of V636 right now. And they're ahead by a very little margin. 5 minutes remaining, ladies and gentlemen. And oh my lord, I cannot believe this is happening. OV are going to need to activate some stuff. They're going to have to get something done. They're going to need to get more people here, get those skills up and running, or at least hodl. I mean, at this stage, V636 are just holding. And that's okay for them too, because they own all the altars. They're gaining points per minute at a very rapid rate. They know that it's going to go down to provisions, which they beat OV in provisions last time, by the way, by very little, but they did. And they're still gaining more points. They're gaining points every single minute. We're talking about 420 points every single minute. 4 minutes, that's 1,600 points. This is actually a 50-50. This arc has very, very little time remaining to go back to either side. And now V636 are starting to get mowed down here in the middle. They pick up the arc though. They got to march it. They got to keep marching it. The longer it takes for OV to grab this arc, if they do at all, the better it is for V636. Points per minute are starting to not be the only factor though. Keep your eyes on the points as provisions are coming in. And 800 points worth of a lead for the red team is not that dramatic at all, considering the fact that provisions are coming in at a massive pace. We're going to see a jump in like 10,000 points in the next few moments. So keep an eye for that. Chrissy, where's that going? Where's that skill? Going for the Sky Altar. They're just trying to hold on to that Sky Altar for dear life. V636 down at the bottom as it's going to start ticking for points. OV will more than likely secure this arc. Maybe there's a lot more blue presence right here, but they might not have enough time to get that arc back. And V636 pick up the arc and drop the arc. I mean, we didn't think they'd pick up the arc and hold on to it. Look at what's going on there. But hey, at the very least, we're taking a look right now at a possibility where OV will not be able to even get this building back in their favor. So get this arc in their favor. Man, I'm looking at buildings at the same time. That arc is in favor of OV though, and it is here to stay for OV. OV, my goodness gracious. As they pick up the arc once more and more, John Wick, the legendary arc carrier, is about to come out, but he has a problem. There's a lot of red marches and more of them coming in. There goes John Wick out the window. John Wick goes, and oh my lordy, what is going on? Picking up the arc and dropping the arc and picking up the arc and dropping the arc consistently, but that arc is moving now, and it's moving at a rapid rate towards the blue side. This is not good for V636. They cannot let this arc go down. They cannot let this arc go in favor of OV. They got to pick it up. They got to move it. They got to kill everything that picks it up. They cannot allow this arc to go in. Provisions are starting to trickle in, ladies and gentlemen. We're up 3,000 plus points already, and those numbers are still going to go up right now. OV behind by about, 65 points? V636 stopping the arc carrier from moving yet again. V636, no, they need to hold on to this. They just need to stop this from going in favor of OV, as they are in the lead by 600 points every single minute, and a minute and a half remaining, so almost 1,000 points more are going to go in favor of V636 on top of provisions and on top of everything. So OV, that arc has to make it home, and the provisions need to come in. V636 up by 1,100 points, ladies and gentlemen. Did we not bet this time? And that's why they win. Oh my lordy, don't call it just yet. 1 minute remaining. Provisions are still a thing in this game, and they are coming in, but they are coming in heavy for V636. 2,000 point lead for V636 and 48 seconds remaining. This arc carrier is not making it home. I can tell you that much. There is not enough time for John Wick or any arc carrier for that matter to make it all the way to the end goal, which is this outpost that sits right there. So no arc anymore. 31 seconds remaining, and V636 ahead by 2,400 points. Have they broken OV with one arc? Have they broken OV with one arc? Is that it? 15 seconds remain. V636 are still gaining a ton of points. OV are not. What is going on? Is this the end? 7 seconds. Marches still can come in at the last moment to get this done, but it looks like V636 are going to get us to a game 3. Game 3, ladies and gentlemen. V636. I cannot believe I didn't bet this week. Oh my goodness. V636 breaking OV with that one arc massiveness. Heals, tremendous heals for V636 compared to OV. Tremendous points per minute gain right there. They beat OV in everything. A little bit of points per minute, and a lot of points per minute, a little bit of provisions, and even in the arc, at the end of the day, they've won on all 3 criterias. V636 took out OV in every aspect, every side of it. That is truly, 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 truly unbelievably awesome to watch. Major congrats to V636. They're not out of it just yet. They're not out of it just yet, and I cannot believe we lost all of... we didn't lose, but I cannot believe we didn't bet. Oh my goodness gracious, chat. When I go all in V636, they lose. When I say, okay, let's just get the little bit of rewards and leave, they win. Oh my lordy. And the odds next week are going to look nuts. I mean, V636 looks much better this time than they looked before. They looked like the better player this time around as well. And so, man, what an exciting match for us to watch. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm stoked. One way or another, before we leave, either way, if you've enjoyed the stream, I need to really quickly do that. Oh, wait, is that? No? If you enjoyed the stream, don't forget to drop a like on it. We're not leaving just yet because we got to take a quick peek at what's going on in that KVK. Maybe we'll show it up a little bit. But yeah, if you enjoyed the stream, don't forget, of course, to drop a like on it. A bunch of you, this is the time when a bunch of you say, time for me to say goodbye, which is okay. The match has ended indeed. That's what most folks are here for. And so I'm very, very thankful for those of you who stuck around, even though we had a huge viewership drop when the dongle died off, which was a little bit sad. I'm not going to lie to you. I mean, massive drop. But regardless, y'all are awesome. Thank you for watching this cast. I appreciate every single one of you. The VOD is going to be available momentarily for you all to enjoy. It has all the commentary and everything. Make sure you check it out. Don't forget to drop a like on the stream. What a crazy match that was to witness. I'm very, very thankful we got to cast it. And now it's time to go, you know what I'm saying? Time to go back to work. I'll see you all in tomorrow's video, maybe a stream later tonight, depending on what 503 looks like. We might stream again later and show them off a little bit. But for now, take care. Have a great rest of your week, weekend, afternoon, whatever time you're watching this VOD/stream. Take care and have a good one. Peace.